Hi guys, it's Shell, Heart of It All Custom Creations. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button to see future videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So today I'm going to do a very different type of tumbler than what I normally do. I'm going to be using some clay, so let's jump right in. I'm starting with a 20-ounce stainless curved tumbler. And I went ahead and sanded it and cleaned it up. So then I grabbed some of this polymer clay, and this is almost the exact width or deep. I don't know how to, but it's almost the exact size that I want them to be. And I think I end up using either 3 or 4, or maybe 4.5 of these little packets. I think I got these from Amazon like forever ago. And they do need to be baked. So I did make sure to sand all around the tumbler, but especially up towards the top where this clay is being put. I by no means am an expert on working with polymer clay. I did struggle with this quite a bit. And it's not perfect, but I love how this turned out. So I am, if you haven't been able to tell by the thumbnail, I am making a potted plant that I'm using succulents, that's what they're called, succulents, with a topper. So right now I'm just combining the polymer clay here around as best as I can, and then shaping it to the desired effect of what, like a terracotta pot. If you see that piece of tape in the middle, inside of the tumbler, that I marked the back so that when I put the words on this, that the words will be on the front. It's just one of the easy ways that I keep track of what's front and what's back. Once I am happy with how the top of this is, I do place it in my convection oven and bake it. I baked it for about an hour, and I want to say it was around 250 degrees, but make sure you do check the directions on the clay that you get. And once that cooled down, then I was able to move on. But here I am just going to go ahead and I am kind of taking my X-Acto knife and kind of like slightly have it at an angle so that I can expose a little bit of that stainless, so that when I add the epoxy on, it does have something to adhere to. And while that is baking, I mixed up some epoxy, and I'm adding in this like chestnut brown mica powder to mix in with it to kind of look like dirt. I really wanted to add some little rocks in it, but I could not find any in my stash, and I know I have some, but this ended up working out anyway. So I pour this into a car coaster mold that fits nicely inside the top of the tumbler lid, and I'm just doing a very short layer, maybe a little more than half full of this mold, and then I'm going to add some succulents into it and let that completely cure. spraying this with alcohol to pop any of those bubbles. And then I got this pack forever ago on Amazon, and I just found the ones that I wanted to use, and I cut off the stem, and I'm placing that down into the epoxy. I'm using like 2 biggish ones, and then I do cut up some little teeny tiny ones off of like a bush looking one, just to add in there some smaller ones. And so when I'm happy with that, I'm going to let this sit to cure. Now that my cup is completely done, I did take it outside and spray paint it white, just for a base so that I can use this acrylic paint. I didn't have any terracotta looking spray paint, so I am using this acrylic paint. And I'm going to give it 2 layers. The first layer I'm just slapping on there, making sure to cover pretty decently. And then the second layer, I kind of pounce the paint on there just to give it a little bit of texture. Not that once the epoxy's on, it really doesn't matter, but I do want to let this dry, and then I do go in with that second coat. Once that is dry, I place this on my turner, and you can see kind of the texture right now, but I'm going to go ahead and add epoxy. Now you want to be careful up around the top of this pot so that epoxy does not completely puddle up underneath the lid. So I was paying special attention to the lid, or the top of the cup, to get the epoxy as even as possible, so that it did not completely puddle up. And I also am making sure to get the very top of the tumbler as well, so that I can go to the little bit of that stainless that is exposed to adhere this epoxy. I let this coat dry, and I do add a second coat. And once I got the epoxy on, I do use my heat gun to pop any bubbles. While I still have some epoxy left, I'm going to pour it into the cured mold here. And I'm going to also use some of that epoxy to cover the succulents, because a couple of them have like almost a little, it's not fabric, but it's kind of fuzzy. So I want to make sure that if someone needs to rinse this off or wash it, that the epoxy will seal it so that it can easily be washed. And then I spray it with alcohol to pop those bubbles and let that sit to cure. Now that these 2 coats of epoxy are done, I go ahead and clean up the excess epoxy around the rim. And I'm finding that piece of tape, making sure it's in the back so that I can add on my saying. I just typed up word crazy plant lady with a Ray Dunn-ish type of font. And because this is a curved cup, I did want to cut little slits into my decal paper so that I'm able to add this without it. It allows it to have the flexibility to go where I want it to go with having those little slits in there. So I cut off a little bit of that backing and then place down the vinyl. And then I'm going to pull off the backing of the rest and carefully place kind of each word down somewhat individually, just so that none of it will buckle. I do seal this vinyl with the CC DIY Quick Coat to make sure that that vinyl does not lift when I go to add my final coats of epoxy. And once that is done, I'm showing you the lid here. The pink won't be on it. I'll take it out of the mold once it's completely done, just like this. And I'm going to place these little magnets that I got from Amazon. Probably could have been a little bigger, but they do work. And I'm going to use UV resin to adhere those to that. And right now I'm just placing this, the topper onto the lid itself and just kind of making notches with my craft knife to where I want the magnets to go. And I just need a little bit to adhere that magnet to it, and then I will use my UV light to cure it. And then I'm going to do the other side also and attach those magnets. And then while the magnets are on there, I'm putting a little dollop of a second magnet and attaching that to the cup itself, the lid, so that this can be removable. And as you see, I was able to take that off and the top magnet stayed on, so that whenever you want to use the topper, you can. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. And that's what that looks like. How cute. It even fits with the lid closed, but I mean, so you could just let it sit there, look cute. And this is all done. I'm going to finish cleaning up the rim. I finished cleaning up the rim, and then I'm going to take a little bit of 100% acetone and clean the inside where that spray paint overflow went, and just making sure I clean that up. I also clean that cup with alcohol. And I'm going to go ahead and add the lid so you can see how stinking cute this cup turned out. And I just am obsessed with it. I've been wanting to do one of these for a few years now, and I absolutely love how it turned out. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I still think it looks absolutely adorable. I will be placing this on the website if you are interested. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd give me a great big thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.